of Swords is reference to truce, restoration of peace, differences resolved, quarrel ended, unselfishness, sympathy, understanding, balance achieved. So spiritually, you maybe you're with your soulmate or somebody who's important to you. You were having a conflict, but now you're at a truce spiritually. You're connected, being as one. Or this might be within you, your masculine and feminine aspects coming to a truce and not fighting with each other anymore within. You're having some peace in mind, potentially. The justice over here in the intellectual is why I reference that. You know, they're over here in this dark forest or at the sunset or it's starting to get dark or sunrise. So I do see that you're having a final spiritual peace within that you're sustaining and building on, working forward from. So this is a good point to continue or to, because you've obviously done some work to get to this point, right? So continue that kind of work, but also like a fresh new start almost. So you're spiritually harmonious. Spawn in the sphere or justice, balanced use of force, weighing of factors, fair decision, judicious authority, necessary adjustment, a wrong righted, truth revealed, impartial hearing. So your intellect or what you're thinking about, your mind, is weighing of factors, right? So you're being a Libra kind of in your mind of balancing the scales. Trying to be fair, you know, equilibrium kind of thing, or pros and cons, weighing them out, understanding the right choices for the circumstances you're in, making the best decisions that you can think of with what you got, containing the beast within, but be careful with that as well because it can potentially build up enough force to break out or have a good timing of, oh, now I'm free, I'm going to rain hell on you in your mind, right? Headaches and stuff like that. So make sure you nurture the beast within as well while you're doing this. So it's like perceiving both extremes, but then not going with either extreme, but just understanding them and then sitting in the middle and having that 0 point. Or the eye of the storm, the yin yang, you know, the psychological, mental aspects of life. 10 of disc in reverse is dullness of wit, lack of enterprise, sloth, loss, robbery, inability to handle money, end of gain, gambling debts. So financially, you might have some issues. Physically, your health, you're risking it, and you're not understanding. Maybe you're smoking cigarettes or doing some kind of unhealthy habits, not getting the exercise you should get, not handling money properly. That's probably a big key one right there. Gambling debts, risking money when you shouldn't be. It seems that potentially harvest for the winter is a big point here. So, you know, don't overindulge in what you've harvested. So, sustain the rest of what you have for the winter and balance it going forward. This includes the home life, right? Anything that has to do with the home. Because this is the physical. And then your home is a reference mirror of your physical aspects of your life. So, things may be going away from what you thought they were going, but if you're prepared, you'll be fine. 7 of discs in reverse, misery, enslavement, necessity, loss of place, humble condition, betrayal, trust, business dispute, failed enterprise. So the social aspect of yourself is part of the reason why the finances are the physical, right? So misery, how you feel about yourself and how you feel about your circumstance or life and what the dark things that come out of you is part of the reason why you're attracting this. It's like the higher self is, look at this, her soul is literally being tormented by this dude. Okay? And this dude may not be a physical person or a person in your life. It may be just the dark side of your perceptions and or the evil that you perceive. And maybe even from within the dark masculinity inside of you, causing the true higher self. This could, it doesn't mean it's a man. It could be a female, right? That's the dark side of masculinity. So I think your dark side is just sitting there torturing your higher self. But I don't know. It also could be that there's a social thing. It could be how you feel about somebody or how you feel. Because the Two of Swords up here is soulmate reference, right? And letting go and not wanting to stab someone. I see this as a very discontent social aspect. You're just fed up with people and you don't like people kind of thing. But that's also causing the problems with the way you're outputting that energy, that you just keep attracting it. The vicious cycle of you doing that and attracting more of it and more of it and more of it and more of it. And because you keep feeling that way, and it reinforces your beliefs and how you think about things socially, people. And it's like your own torture chamber that you've constructed for yourself and you can't get out of. Because you keep reinforcing it over and over and over again with your responses to them instead of coming from a compassion and love for them and forgiving and letting go. Yeah, to let go, you have to see both sides, right? On the extreme of, can you deal with the dark side and be okay and think of an alternative route and say, well, if this happens, then I'll just try to do something else. Maybe I can do this or that. And if the best thing happens, I'll be happy. I'll feel great. Like, see both sides, right? And then sit in the middle about it. That will help with bringing peace with the social aspect of your life. Knight of Cups, a young man who is calm on the outside, but inwardly intense and seething with determination. He likes to keep his purposes to himself and tends to be crafty and subtle. He works for his own ends with ruthless, single-minded determination. His complete devotion to his own goals can generate mistrust and dislike in others. This could be somebody you're with. This could be you. Because it's an emotional aspect of yourself. It could be about your feelings about yourself or feelings about someone else. Overindulgence would be a feeling or a temptation. Cat is warning you. Sees both sides. Sees the below and the above. Alright. I see communication is key right now. And understanding one another and understanding those around you and the people, instead of just keeping yourself and keep doing the dark things. Express your truth, whether it's dark or not, to work it out. Get the feelings off your chest. Don't let it sit inside of you to build up for outbreaks or anger and frustration. And when the time comes, you just blow up, right? So we don't want that. This lamp falls off here and poof, big old flame. It'll be burnt alive. Be careful. It does seem like it could be tilting, about to fall. One of these links break, the whole cellar will burn. And that's the deep inside of you, house, your mansion inside of you, burning, making the foundation weak, and the whole thing crumbles into nothing, having to start all over. We don't want that. So just be aware of your feelings and make sure you're letting them out and not overindulging in your own self-pity or your doubt or your fears or your frustrations and anger that build up to anger, right? So correlates with keeping the beast within, right? Giving it the nurture and the nutritious to where it wants to stay in its cage and doesn't want to get out. And you can unleash it when you need to, like when you're threatened. Like, hey, I got this beast within that I'll defend myself with. But sometimes you think you're being threatened and you're really not. So that's why communication is key, and making sure you speak clearly and from your heart. So having the equilibrium from your heart to your mind and spirit to influence the social and physical aspect of your life. Ramil, angel of visions, the shepherd of good graces, the shining light in the distance, beckoning us forward into the future. The green pastures beyond the next hill are hard to see. Ramil assures us that things will get better. It whispers something is coming and it is beautiful. Keep pushing toward the horizon, toward the setting sun. As the light fades, you feel as if someone is watching you. Far in the distance, you see a lone figure walking, a dove on its shoulder. You stop for a moment to marvel at this vision. When you move again, it is gone. You hear a flutter of feathers as the dove lands gracefully on your shoulder. This is a reference to a cane, the rising sun, a white dove, hopes, desires, but with hopes, there's also doubt. Those are the extremes. You have to realize what is your hope and then what is the doubt of the hope. They're like opposite, right? You're sitting in the middle. You keep action going towards what you desire. Don't give up. Abraham, justice of pandemonium. Known for his wisdom and his dedication to justice and truth in both life and death, the once mortal Abraham is the judge of pandemonium. He can see through any falsity or subterfuge and determine the worthiness or unworthiness of those who come before his court. Although he arrived in the afterlife ragged, broken, and stripped of himself, that which was most real in himself preserved. His moral integrity, his dedication to justice and duty, his personal honor. Abraham shows us the truth of our temporal selves. What in us is worth keeping, balanced against what is unworthy or of our future selves, and best abandoned in the waste. This is in reference to justice, truth, or duty. So you have a duty to yourself to get rid of that which is holding you back or hindering you or creating obstacles that just keep the vicious cycles. Down here, learn to love others even if they don't love you. Once again, the scales is balanced here. The halberd he's holding. Oh, you're not worthy, off with their head. Like, it's hard, I know. It's easy to be like, oh, just stay in the light, or no, just stay in the dark. You know, those are easy. What's hard is balancing the two. Goblins, fear is an illusion. Choose love today. Forgive yourself and others. Goblins are born when you're wounded and something essential is lost in that experience. From the point on, as you forget your wholeness, they remain with you in the shadows. There they remind you of what brought them into being by mimicking your own voice, tricking you into believing that you're unworthy, victimized, or unlovable. Victimized would probably be the key word there. They hold you hostage through low self-worth, self-sabotage, and the feeling that you're lacking what you need. If goblins pay you a visit, know that they represent the shadow of your own self or someone else's, and that they're leading you into a potentially reactive situation. A goblin's card's appearance is an opportunity for growth, however, and a signal that you must love yourself. No human is without flaws. The goblin's message is that you must release resentments and negative self-talk. Within you is a spark of the divine. Ask Spirit to help heal you. Miracles can and do happen. Let go of the negativity. It's often difficult to deal with someone else's issues because they impact your own. No one is perfect, but in this case, you're particularly vulnerable to being manipulated. Don't take this world personally. When the Goblin's card arrives reversed, it's a sign to step back with detachment. Don't let others people's stuff lead you into reacting from an old wound. Love yourself unconditionally. Set boundaries and your goblins will fall asleep. Love is the only answer. Hey Taurus, this is your 5 aspects of yourself reading for November 2021. Taurus, November 2021. Queen of Swords, spiritual. 4 Swords in reverse for intellectual. 6 of Wands for physical. High Priestess, Bats in reverse for social. And the World Big for emotional. Angel Maria message for Taurus, November 2021. Zadkiel, Angel of Mercy. Mausoleum message for Taurus, November 2021. Charon, the Ferryman. Enchanted Map message for Taurus, November 2021. Rescue.